2, 3, 4. I came across a drifting ship. I took a look inside. I found a note that someone wrote that said, take her for a ride. I set a course for sights unseen, went out to open sea. To my surprise, a bunch of sailors joined along with me. Now we're sailing on the mystery ship, and all the sailors here are really here. There isn't any cost of membership. All that you gotta do is join our trip. Yeah, I'm the captain of the mystery ship, and I'm a-calling all aboard this trip. I'm really hoping that you'll enjoy it upon the mystery ship. So bring a friend and come along with us aboard the mystery ship.
Well, how about them apples right there? How about them apples right there? Well, how about them apples right there? Where do I have an echo going on? Oh, it's YouTube. Right there. It's YouTube. I got that under control. One Blue Iris is in the chat. How great to see you, Robin. Wonderful to have you along. Happy New Year to you. Hope your Christmas was good. Great to see your smiling face. That is freaking awesome. That is awesome. Let's get a quick look around the horn here. Make sure we're live everywhere we are supposed to be live. You know what never hurts is when a guy puts himself on freaking camera. That's, one of the things you do as a broadcaster, for crying out loud. What is going on with my background? I will say I am happy to those of you who are able to receive it. I am broadcasting in full 1080p now. I had to make some adjustments, but it looks like it's a little cleaner and crisper. This signal going out looks better than it used to. I'm happy for that. Better than the old 720. Well, we don't want to see that. We don't want to see what? Sill in the shower. Yeah, I don't know that we're prepared to see that. I might just get kicked off the air for that. All right, we are live at Pilled Foxhole. That is a wonderful thing. Let's check out over at Rumble. Are we rumbling? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We are live at Rumble. That is awesome. Let's have a gander at YouTube. YouTube is, yes, we are good. We are live at YouTube. That is a beautiful thing. Well, look at that. Let me say hello here to a friend. How about that? Dandy 002. Mr. Dan, good to see you, my friend. Welcome aboard the mystery ship. See if I can click this right. Let me see if I can get that right. Darn it, why does it make it, why does it do that? Why does it do that? I'm trying to fix things over there. Okay, now I got him. I gotcha. Okay. You are now tangled up in blue, Dan, like everyone else. Good to have you aboard over there. Let's check out, are we broadcasting at Twitch? Are we broadcasting at Twitch? Come on. We are. Ooh, and there's a crisp, clean picture there. Looks like the 1080p is actually working. It is. It even said it. It even said it on my screen. Well, now I'll have to make sure I have... TL has 0 looks to give. TL's got long hair now. He's a long hair. And he's wearing a bandana. Next thing you know, he's going to have a handlebar mustache. All right, let's start with the hellos. I'm going to have to start with our reigning champions. It's only fair. It's only fair. Gloria Paddock, what are you doing, little lady? This Our Gang salute is for you. We missed you. We missed you on New Year's Eve, but I'm sure you had an agenda. I'm sure you had a good time wherever you were. Bad Zoot in the house. What are you doing, little lady? A very tall lady. Nice to see you. Amethyst Cat. Amethyst Cat made the coolest freaking sticker. Man. Sheeple, good to have you aboard. Val Kimber, Lynn Winters, of course. Wonderful to have you aboard. Jayla17. Spudley, I mentioned Spudley. One Blue Iris. Oh, this is enormous. Enormous, all the beautiful people hanging out here tonight. You champions over there on D Live. Pat yourselves on the back. I know you're enjoying every minute of it. Peapod sighting. What does that mean? I'm so behind on my acronyms. I don't even know what a peapod is. I don't know that I want to know what a peapod is. It's probably not healthy. Probably not good for you. Okay, let's get over to the home of free speech in America, and I'm talking about Pilled Foxhole. The last place in the world where you can do whatever you want to do. Joelaine says the picture is much clearer. I'm happy to hear that. That makes my day. That makes my day. Jojo, good to see you, of course. Crazy Chuck with a K checking in from Toledo. How are you, my man? Good to see you. Prairie Fire, fresh from making the stickers with Neo and Better lately. You don't even wait 30 seconds, do you? It's a great sticker, by the way, where they counted 3, 2, 1, and they kissed each other for New Year's. Very well. Very good. Very, very good. Dixie Doodle, how you doing, kid? Nice to have you aboard. Nice to have you aboard the mystery ship. This is the mystery ship. It's a mystery that we ever even get on the air. Raid on Antifa showing off his new badge right there. Reminds me, I got to do my badges. I got to leave myself a note. Fix badges. We don't need no stinking badges. Yes, we do. Double D checking in with SS Foxhole. I was hanging out with those boys last night, having a good time. Double D always has a good show on Tuesday nights. Girl Patriot, our lovely singer. How are you doing, Jerry? Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. LT 57 FSH in the house. How's everything, my brother? You got bike riding weather down there? Do you? It is it's freaking cold and nasty up here in Oregon right now. And I mean cold and nasty. It hung out at about 38 degrees all day. Wind, rain. Finally, when it was time to go home, like 3:30, the sun poked out for about 15 minutes. Just after we were all soaked and all that great stuff. Pretty crazy stuff. A wonderful gang hanging out over at Pilled Foxhole. Great to see all of you. Thank you. Willie Fix-It in the house. Willie, tonight's program is so up your alley. Man, if you weren't here, I would have seriously, I'd have been really disappointed. All right, we've got 4 watching over at Rumble. I don't know who you are, but I can tell you have a crystal clear picture over there. Boy, it really does make a difference boosting your output. Amazing. Whoever you are hanging out over there at Rumble, I freaking love you. Thanks for doing it. Thanks for rumbling. I don't believe we have any Twitchers. We don't. But we're broadcasting there just in case something else happens. How about over at the Tube? Who do we have at the Tube? Sir Nasty Nate is hanging out with us. Good to see you. Norma Williams, how you doing, little lady? Happy New Year to you. Hope you had a very Merry Christmas. Good to see you. AT, talk to the hand. Good to have you aboard. Dandy, 002, nice to see your smiling face. Let's go, Brandon. And Dixie Doodle, she is all over the place tonight. Good to see you, kiddo. Good to see you. Welcome, my friends, to another Wednesday night edition of The Mystery Ship. What episode is this? Oh, shoot, this is the first, technically the first show of the new year. I only broadcast a few nights a week. It's because I have this thing called a job, and somehow it really gets in the way of my broadcasting career. I'm not sure what to do about it. But one of these days, I'll figure it out. One of these days, I'm going to freaking figure it out. I'm always looking for unique subjects to broach, to batter around and get your opinions on. Lately, I have been looking at some of the strangest stuff, people. I've really... there are certain things, and I'll be doing a show on it. I'll be doing a show on it very soon. I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated with the Great Lakes, the industry that built up around there at the turn of last century. Actually, just before the turn of last century. The shipping The shipping is what really gets my goat. I wanted so badly. I dreamed as a young man of just getting on a boat. I don't mean I don't mean a sailboat. I mean, you know, stowing away on some kind of cargo ship and having them put me to work and sailing around the world. I figured it would be the greatest way in the world to see the world. I've always loved the ocean. I've always loved boats, ships. I just thought that would be the coolest freaking life to be like a, I don't know, merchant marine kind of a deal. As I got older, my thoughts changed. I then wanted to be a rock star. So I wasted a good portion of my life trying to become a rock star. And then I ended up a freaking carpenter. But yeah, if I could have been that guy sailing ships around the world, delivering cargo and stuff like that, what a life. What a life it would have been. I'd have probably been a bachelor for life, a drunken sailor, probably have a peg leg by now and a hook for a right arm. But the stories that I could tell, I'm telling you, I was always really, really drawn to that. But I have been reading about the shipwrecks in the Great Lakes, and the storms that those guys endured. November is like the cutoff month. When you are shipping freight in the Great Lakes, man, if you don't have your barge put away by November, you get some those brave sailors who still set out in November. Those are the ones who end up at the bottom of Lake Erie and Lake Huron. And I've been reading up on these captains who, incredible careers and ended up at the bottom of the drink. I will be doing a show on this very soon. Very soon. I'm so fascinated. I keep taking more notes and more notes and more notes because it's such a fascinating topic. Any of you ever wish you had sailed away? Man, I don't know. I love it. Could have joined my old unit, Army Mariners. Really? Double D? Rumble is not working at the moment. Interesting. It appears to be working on my end, but that's okay. Let me see if I can say hello. Yeah, it's working. Hello, Rumblers. Boom. Yeah, at least I can. Well, maybe you're right, Joe. There isn't a soul over there except for me. Except for me at the moment. Well, sometimes you have days like that. Tonight, folks, we are going to be looking at the automobile, and not from the standard viewpoint. Oh no, no. We're going to be looking at extravagance and luxury and add-ons and things that you could have ordered in your car but didn't. The things that were at one time very, very popular and have gone away. And lastly, we're going to look at a bunch of items that you can get to make your car fancier. Even though it might not be a Lamborghini, you can make it look and feel like a Lamborghini. That's what we do here on the Mystery Ship. We dream for you. We do your dreaming for you. That's I love to wax nostalgic. That's what I do. That's what I do. All right. So, oh man, here we go. I got to get this right. I got to get this right. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. Let's turn this up like it should be. You know what we do. You know what we do right here, right now. I've said my hellos to the beautiful people. I've noticed which channels we're live on. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Gloria Paddock just came rolling in a ninja guinea in honor of tonight's automotive stories. Thank you, darling. Thank you for your support of this program. You guys are nothing short of amazing. We will be back immediately following this short intermission. This is your chance to go refill your drink, take the dog outside, maybe run to the latrine, whatever it is you need to do. You got about 2 minutes to get her done. And then we're going to start in on this extravaganza. We'll be right back following this message. Why do we sail upon the mystery ship? 'Cause we never know where we'll go next. This is where I always take a moment to thank the beautiful people, the ones who show up here and watch this show. I really appreciate those of you who find it in your heart to, you know, do the wonderful things you do, like donate lemons or buy other people badges, buy other people subscriptions. God bless you. I'm seriously blessed with having some of the best people in the world just come and hang out for a couple hours and see what Zoe's got up his sleeve tonight. You guys are wonderful. Thank you for your support. But truthfully, one of the best ways, and honestly, one of the grooviest ways that you can support this program is by simply telling people about it, sharing it, throwing it on, I don't care if it's your Facebook or your Twitter or your Gab or whatever you're doing. Tonight I'm hanging out with Zoe on the mystery ship. It means the world to me. And I know that you must be doing this, because I'm not kidding you. Every single time I click on and I fire up, it says you have 3 more people, like over at D Live, or I noticed new names. Oh, new names over at Pilled Foxhole, all over the place. Rumble, you guys are over D Live particularly. You guys are so much fun. I freaking love you. I freaking love you. You make me laugh. So, a funny thing happened to me the other day. I'm driving along in my Lincoln Continental. Okay, let me pull up a little piece of tape right here. Let me pull up a little piece of tape right here. Stop that. I'm going to kill the volume. I'm going to kill the volume. And I got to move ahead in this video to about here. Where is it? Here? Come on now. Come on, Zoe, get it together. Get it together. I'm looking for a particular shot in this video that I want to share with you. You've all seen it before, but maybe not all of you. Maybe not all of you. Let's move ahead. Let's move ahead. Oh, I know where it is. It's up in here. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Almost all of you know that I own and drive as my daily driver. My daily driver, a 1975 Lincoln Continental. That's the beast right there. She runs like a bat out of hell. And I don't wear those. Those belong to Belushi. He lent them to me. But that's what the inside of the car looks like. Look at this thing come by, like a rocket. Like a rocket ship. like a freaking rocket ship. You see those plush leather seats on the inside? The headliner that's still good. Now I might have to do a little repainting up at the top. Yeah, she needs a little love, but you know, like it or not, in its day, that car was absolutely the height of American luxury. Yes, it was. Americans got sold a bill of goods back in the late 20s. Our dear brother Brad CGC, did a fantastic look at propaganda. Propaganda. The thought of propaganda was, well, there's a gentleman by the name of Edward Bernays. He was the grandson, I believe, of Sigmund Freud. And he was responsible he started what we now know today as public relations. He was hired by a great many companies to push their products. And why was he so instrumental? Well, he had an edge that some of the others did not, in that he read Freud's book. So he understood people. And although he worked for both Ford and GM, Henry Ford was adamant that he didn't want to appeal to, he didn't want to take the wrong approach when selling his automobiles. Whereas GM, on the other side, they said to Bernays, hey, let her rip. Do whatever you got to do. We want to see these babies moving down the assembly line. And in a short period of time, General Motors quickly doubled the amount of Fords. They were killing it. They were absolutely freaking killing it, because Freud decided to appeal to Americans' psyche. He looked at vehicles as not just a necessity, but as a way to show off, a way to show who you are. You're this up and coming young devil. He appealed to Americans' psyche. You know, You don't need this car, but what will your friends think of you if you come home driving one of these? He really knew what the hell he was doing. And the man single-handedly freaking changed. He changed the world. I can't really say in a good way, but I mean, his tactics worked. And all I can say is it is what it is at this point. But luxuries, luxuries in your automobile became desired. At first, you know, at first people like Henry Ford thought, oh, who's going to want a cigarette lighter in their car? The fact is, a lot of people did. And all the little add-ons and extras and plush seats and all the goodies, it's amazing. I was riding along in my car, and I was looking at okay, so my vehicle has these button seats to give the illusion of like a Barco lounger, a nice overstuffed chair, as just like in your living room. And it was done that way on purpose. Okay, it's when you peered inside the window of a 1975 Lincoln Continental, you saw luxury. Okay, a Cartier clock, and I mean a lighter and an ashtray at every single corner of the car for all of those crazy smokers back in the 70s. Opera lighting, passenger reading lights, fully automatic seats that independent of one another, that the driver can do whatever the hell he wanted with his seats. The passenger could do the same. The passenger could, with a push of a button, could lay his seat all the way back and have a snooze. I mean, these are small items compared to what is out there. But these things did have their start, believe it or not, back in the 40s. It was back in the 40s when some designers said, what if we put the pedal to the metal and just really fill a car with luxury? One of the first cars to do so, let me get rid of this, was the Packard. Now, Packards were notorious gangster cars, okay? All the mafia guys drove Packards because they were faster than hell. They were indestructible. I mean, you could hit 15 cars and just keep on going. They were built like tanks. Outrun police cars. You could broadside a police car and flip him over and just get away. They were gangster cars, but they were luxurious gangster cars. We're going to have a look at this. I found this, and I was amazed. The 1941 Packard. The 1941 Packard was the very first car to boast automatic windows. Let's get a gander. Let's get a gander of this right here. All right, I've got my volume up. Let's see what they had in store for themselves back in the day.
Of the car, silent symbol of smooth, quiet performance. Pan up to the car itself.
Introducing the Packard 110 for 1941.
Look at those
folks, don't be
white
afraid.
walls.
You've just discovered the new Packard. It's longer and lower with lots of oomph. Be excited. Let yourself go. That's it.
Identity, yet always modern and always in good taste.
Okay, that's it.
Open with this shot to show the effect of rich contrasting paint and bright chrome. And this fine expanse of glass for better vision in all directions. We must have we see the car from one of its most impressive and fascinating angles. It shows the gracefully descending line of the roof and the sweeping rear deck. That suggests plenty of luggage space. This is worth a close-up. The vertical position of the spare tire makes a more usable luggage compartment.
Okay, that's it. Let's make it. All right.
All right, dear. Say, you really sink down in these cushions. There. What's this?
Don't break anything.
Well, let's find out. Well.
You know how freaking cool it would be to have one of those freaking things today. I wonder. I don't even. I wonder what. If you looked in Hemmings Motor News, what a 41 Packard would go for. They've got to be heinous. It's got to be $250,000. But they were works of art. They really were. Electric windows. Electric windows was unheard of. Unheard of. And it had that divider window which separated the front seat from the back. Pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy stuff. That was like the beginning of it, though. Once the 50s came along and the whole, that whole space age thing with the cars with the big fins and all of that, people wanted goodies. They wanted extras. They wanted more for their vehicle. Let me see if I can find this. Where is it? Where is that? Here we go. Here we go. I gave myself a few links so that I can show what I need. Okay. 520. Here we go. Here we go. So back in the day, a radio in a car, folks, was a luxury. It wasn't standard, okay? A radio. Being able to listen to music in your vehicle driving down the street, that was a big freaking deal. And the rich, or should I say the filthy rich, What is going on here? Why isn't this working for me? Please, work for me. The uber rich who could afford it, they opted for AM radios, but they took it a step further. Get a gander at this. The Chrysler Company in 1956 had a thing called highway hi-fi.
Just like today, people love to listen to good music, and there was an attempt to give people that option anytime they wanted in their car. In 1956, Chrysler offered the Highway Hi-Fi, which was really a record player for cars. This really wasn't a big hit because of several reasons. Who wants to lug your 45 RPM singles around? Not only did you have to worry about them being scratched, but the summer months could also be damaging with the heat. The biggest problem came from playing the record and hitting bumps, which would make it skip. This feature turned out to be more of a hassle than it was worth, so it didn't quite catch on. Toyota came up with a cool feature in their cargo vans in
The Highway Hi-Fi. Now, I remember talking with people about those. Like my boss, when I was a kid in the 70s, talking with my boss about his old cars, and he said that he had a car that had a record player in it. And I said, "Are you kidding me?" I mean, I couldn't even fathom the idea. By that time, we were, we were into cassette tapes. We were past 8 tracks. We were into cassettes. He was telling me that he had a record player in his car, but I can see why it wouldn't have caught on. Yeah, just too many freaking things. Although, did you see the picture of Cassius Clay with his record player? Now, this is driving me nuts. This is really driving me nuts because I found it earlier, and I can't find it now. I had an image of a woman in a Ford in the 50s, and the car was outfitted factory stock with a telephone, okay? With a freaking telephone. It was this type of phone, and the dialer, this little dialer right here, was built in. It was built into the center console, and there was a cradle for the receiver sitting right next to it. So it was an option. A telephone was an option for your car in the 50s. It seems insane. It had to go via radio back in those days, but I remember having one time I remember being somewhere with my dad, and somebody he knew had a phone in their car, and I remember the guy picking it up and saying, "Yes, mobile operator, can you connect me?" It's like, I don't know why they put the dialer in the car, because you just spoke to the operator and you gave her the phone number and she hooked you up. But I was just flabbergasted that you could have a phone in a car. It seemed absurd at the time. I mean, it seemed like I remember being, as a little kid, being just overwhelmed by this, like, "Dad, that guy must be rich," My dad's like, "It's merely an option. I could put one in my car if I wanted to." Crazy stuff. Over the years, though, cars that saw wonderful features, regular features, things that, I don't know, I'm sure everybody in this freaking room, everybody in both of these rooms, probably rode in some, or maybe even owned some kind of car that had wing windows. Wing windows were freaking bitchin'. Especially if you're going to the beach. My Malibu, my Chevy Malibu, Chevelle Malibu, crank those freaking wing windows, man. Let that beach air cruise as you're going down Pacific Coast Highway with a couple surfboards hanging out of the back. Wing windows were the shit. I wish to God cars still had them. I don't know why they don't. I really don't know why they don't. I like to drive around with my window down. I'm going to put a poll out there. Who wishes cars still had wing windows? If you wished cars still had wing windows, put an X in the chat right now. I just want to know. I think they're freaking cool. I wish my Lincoln had freaking wing windows, but it doesn't. T-tops. We're going to be talking about T-tops, Val. Yes, we are. Yes, we are indeed. Look at all these people who had wing windows. Look at that. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Wait, where's my pilled people? There they are. There they are. Willie Fix-It had wing window. I knew he... Are you kidding? Are you freaking kidding me? Raid on Antifa? You had wing windows? Yeah, the wing windows, let me, I have some notes here. Wing windows pretty much disappeared in the early 80s. However, Ford F-150s, you could still get a wing window in a Ford F-150 up until 1991. And the last truck to offer them was in the mid-90s. That was a 96 Dodge Ram. A 1996 Dodge Ram was the last American pickup where you could still get a wing window. They were freaking cool. Freaking cool. I wish you could aftermarket them into your car. That would be the thing to have. There was some zany ideas over the years, sold as luxury items, but in the end, they turned out not to be so luxurious. For instance, power antennas. When the first power antennas came out, people thought, ooh, how cool. My Lincoln's got a power antenna in it. But what they found was when they do take a crap, and they do take a crap, eventually your power antenna goes the way of all flesh. They were extremely expensive to replace, whereas the regular old screw-on antenna, $10, you had a new one. So power antennas kind of went the way of all flesh, although crazy enough, you could still get power antennas on a Cadillac as late as 2005. That seems it seems nuts. It seems nuts, but I guess it was one of those things. Here is a quirky little one. Here is a quirky little option. Let me see if I can find this. 51 seconds. 51 seconds in. Is that it? Do I have the right one? Am I on the right? No, I'm on the wrong. Damn it. How many open windows do I have? How many freaking open windows do I have? Too many, obviously. Okay, so there were, damn it, I have the video. I have the video to show you. All right, I'm going to have to just show you a picture for right now. Here, I'll show you this picture for right now. until I find the video. There's always these new ideas, right? Better ways of doing things. The Volkswagen, the 1978 Volkswagen, was one of the first cars to offer an automatic seatbelt. When you got in the car, you did not have to click your belt in place. You didn't have to click your belt in place because the car took care of it for you. And the only thing that you had to do is you did have to put on your lap belt, which studies showed that most people didn't do anyway. They just figured, this shoulder belt is good enough. But no, damn it, I have a video. I have a video showing this. Where the hell is it? Hang on just a second. No, that's wrong video. Oh, come on now. Come on now. I set all this up before the show, and now I can't show it to you? This is bullshit. Bullshit. Yes, there it is. There it is. Here we go.
Automatic seat
Yes. Yes, let's have a gander at this. Let's have a gander at this.
belts started appearing in cars in the late 1980s and carried over into the 90s. Today, we all know that seatbelt wearing is a law, and we understand the importance of wearing them. But when these came out, the laws on wearing seatbelts had just been enacted, and many people were in the habit of not wearing them. These automatic seatbelts seemed like a good idea, but they really weren't. The seatbelt was only the shoulder strap, and it was activated and deactivated by the opening of the car door. As people were still rebelling the seatbelt laws, many weren't buckling the lap belt and were only using the shoulder strap. The seatbelt also became a problem when you dropped something outside of the car and then you opened the door to get it. If you did this too soon, the belt would drive forward on the track, pulling you towards the steering wheel and the dash. The automatic seatbelts also had issues with the motors, and eventually they would break. Sometimes they were stuck in the forward position or somewhere in the middle, and it didn't do any good at all. If it was stuck in the rear position, it could still be used, but most people didn't want to buckle two belts at the same time.
Yep, that is the case. That is the case. I mean, I gotta ask this once again. You guys remember those silly things, okay? The stupid, I thought that was, personally, I think I was partially amazed the first time I saw those. When was that? When automatic seatbelts first, by 1990, they were gone. I think it was 1982. A 1982 Honda, I believe, was the very first car to offer those automatic seatbelts. But a funny thing is, when you first see them, you're kind of amazed. Ooh, what an interesting idea. You know, you sit down, and when you close the door, it goes zip, and just all of a sudden goes across your. I mean, that's all well and good. I have to say this though, as a guy who does an exorbitant amount of driving, I drive, and I always have. They say the average driver drives between 20,000 and 30,000 miles a year. Myself personally, I have driven on average somewhere between 70,000 and 100,000 miles every year of my entire life. And I'm not a professional driver. I'm just a guy who does a lot of driving. I go a lot of places. I ride my motorcycle all over the place. I do a lot of fucking driving. Especially here in Oregon. I mean, I've had jobs where it's 2 hours one way to work, 5 days a week, overtime on the weekends. But even as a kid, in my 20s, in the 70s, I drove like crazy. And guess what? I hate seat belts. I hate them. If the car wasn't designed properly, some cars, the lap belt that comes over your shoulder is affixed to the center post. Okay, some cars have an adjustable center post for the seat belt so that you can raise and lower the slip collar on it, right? But some cars didn't have that. And there's nothing worse than a seat belt just coming right across and just digging into your neck. If you're a fairly big dude like me, I hated them to this day. And all you law enforcement officers out there watching my program, pull me over. I don't wear my frickin' seatbelt. I never wear my freaking seatbelt. I hate them. I grew up not having to wear them, and just because somebody passed a law taking away my freedoms doesn't mean you're going to force me to wear a freaking seatbelt. So, God wants to take me out in a car crash, let him take me. I'm still here. I still drive every day without a fucking seatbelt on. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. Those things were... How many people, again, I want you to put an X in the chat if you knew somebody that had those automatic seat belts in their car, but it was broken, okay? But it was broken, like the guy said, and it was stuck in like the worst position, like at 12 o'clock high, so it didn't cover your neck, but it wasn't, it was just like, it was in the way of you trying to grab the steer. Those things never freaking worked. They never worked. I swear to God, it was the biggest joke, the biggest freaking joke ever, those stupid things. Those stupid things. Okay, wait, where is this? Why? I got to get rid of this. Knocked out his front teeth. My dad got in a wreck when he was young, and because of no seatbelts, he flew through the windshield and smashed his face up. Knocked his front teeth out. Sleeping Star says seatbelts are a must for me. Well, that's good. I mean, if seatbelts make you feel comfortable, then by all means enjoy them. I'm not saying you shouldn't have them. I'm saying in my lifetime, I grew up at a time when some cars didn't have seat belts, when you had to actually order them as an extra to have them included in your car. I grew up riding as a youth, as a baby, as a child, not having seatbelts in the car. In fact, I want to show you something. I'm gonna do a very fast drawing of this, okay? This is just a very fast drawing. Of a vehicle. Here is your average vehicle. This is your average 1960s vehicle, okay? There it is. Front windshield. There's the antenna, okay? Obviously, that's the front of the car. Here's the front windshield. Back here, you got the back windows. You got the front windows. Back here, inside the car was a deck. They used to put speakers in there. And then you had the back seat, right? And then up front, you had the front seats, right? Bucket seats, maybe a bench seat. You can all see that, right? You see this back deck up here? When I was 4 years old, I used to lay up here. With the sun shining through the windshield, and I would lay up there with my arms behind my head, 4 years old, just riding along in my mom's car, her Oldsmobile, and I loved it. There was never any worries about, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I grew up in a different time. But it's to me, seatbelts are akin to motorcycle helmets. There are a great many states in this country where you don't have to wear a motorcycle helmet. The entire time that I grew up in California as a youth, in my teens, 20s, all the way into my late 20s, you didn't have to wear a freaking motorcycle helmet in California. It was only after I had moved away to Oregon, somewhere around 1989, 1990, California passed the helmet law. And they did so because the insurance companies pretty much lobbied them to do so. So the insurance companies figured all the money that they would save on hospital bills by people wearing helmets and wearing seatbelts would offset the money that they were stuffing in the pockets of the politicians. So, I don't have anything necessarily against them, but I think it should be a user's choice. I don't think that there should be a loud, nasty buzzer going off in your car if you don't want to wear the fucking thing. That's just me. I like my freedoms. I'm a dork like that. Okay, let me get to my next item. Let me see if I can find this one, because I really want to share this one with you. There were some really unusual items available in cars. Let me see if I can find this one. I hope I can find this. Where are they? It's coming up. Damn it. Oh, here we go. This is it right here. This is phenomenal. I love this. Okay, I knew people who had these in their cars. I'm talking about swivel seats. American manufacturers, I'm talking GM and Ford, used to have an option where you can order a swiveling seat. A swiveling seat. Get a load of this.
The swivel seat by Chevy has come and gone a couple of times depending on the car. These seats would not only turn and face the door, but they could also rotate fully around. This allowed the passenger to turn around while the car was being driven. The idea seems great for the elderly, physically disabled, or even the women in dresses, but this swivel seat feature is not found in cars today. In 1995, Honda thought it would be a good idea to place a shower in their CR-V.
I'm not worried about the shower right now. Swivel seats. Now, I remember they were popular in vans and they were popular in RVs. If you knew somebody who had a swivel seat in their car, put an X in the chat. Put an X in the chat if you knew somebody who had a swivel seat in their car. I knew one guy, and I think he had what the hell was it? A Catalina? It was a big old boat. Did you see in that picture where there was like a little tabletop in the center of the car? A freaking tabletop. Where is that picture? Let me find it. Come on. There was like a little shelf. A person could, right there. Look at that. This is the car with a swivel seat. Now I should be able to recognize this car. It looks like a Buick, maybe. Definitely GM. Is that a Pontiac, maybe? Oh, Willie, what do you think? Where's Willie? Willie, what is that car. What the hell am I looking at? I know. I mean, it's clearly GM, but look at that table. Look at that. Look at that little tabletop that you can have. Oh my God, that is incredible. That is freaking incredible. Yeah, it's definitely GM. Definitely General Motors. I think that was really a cool fixture. I only saw that in one regular car in my whole life. So, good idea, bad idea. I mean, what do you think? Now they have a hide seat, red leather. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Captain's chairs in a camper van. So I do know that swivel seats in like motorhomes were very popular. I think they still do them today. I knew a lot of people with motorhomes where the passenger seat would fully swivel around backwards, which is actually really good. You know, if a husband and wife are driving, she's got to take a leak. She can just spin her seat around, go back, take care of business, come back. Never skip a beat, never stop, never pull over. Just keep on going. I think the swiveling seat thing was pretty freaking cool. Let's see. Oh my goodness. All right. Do I have the hours on this? Did I? Oh man. Now here's an interesting feature. Here is an interesting feature right here. This was only found on very high dollar cars, like the Rolls Royce. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you this little son of a gun. Of course, in Great Britain, they have a problem with rain, right? So Rolls-Royce offered a place to store your umbrella in the car door. Yes?
Rolls-Royce came up with the umbrella in the door in 2013. This strange feature, of course, is reserved for the rich, as it could cost around $1,000 to have. This special umbrella fits inside the door, and it is meant to be used by either you or your chauffeur. The holder in the door will also dry your umbrella within minutes, so it's not wet and moldy the next time you use it. With this new feature, there are definitely no worries about forgetting an umbrella on a surprising rainy day.
Can you freaking believe that? It dries the umbrella. It dries the umbrella when you put it back, so that the next time you can use it, it's not all moldy and stuff. Who are these people? That's what I want to know. Who the hell are these people? Oh my goodness. Let's see. Okay, we talked about T-tops. Damn it, I have a thing on T-tops. Hang on. Gosh darn it, where is it? Bear with me, people. I did my research on this. Dang it. Where is it? All right, well, let's, in the meantime, while I'm searching for T-tops, while I'm searching for my T-tops, let's look at this one. How many of you remember a little vehicle called the Subaru Brat? The Subaru Brat. It was like a downsized El Camino, okay? And it only held 2, maybe 3 people up front if you had a bench seat, but most of them had bucket seats, so it was a 2-person car. But, you know how back in the day you used to throw guys in the back of the pickup? Just like this? Let's get a gander at this. Let's get a gander at this right here.
There was a time when many people sat in the bed of a pickup truck while going down the road. Unless you are in the country, this is rarely seen nowadays, except when you're at a parade. Subaru decided to make this trend a little safer by offering bolt-in bed seats in their little Brat pickups. This feature would allow passengers the opportunity to sit in the bed and take in the rear view. These seats were made out of plastic, so maybe they weren't the most comfortable, but they were a better option than the metal. So how did Subaru make these seats safe? It certainly was not with seat belts. They had these cool ski pole handles for you to hang on to as the driver slalomed in and out of traffic. This next feature is probably...
And slalom in and out of traffic, they did. One of my best friends had a Subaru Brat. And you want to talk about... Bitch Toria, how are you doing? Good to see you, little lady. It's been a minute. Hope everything is good in your world. My buddy had a Subaru Brat, and I swear to God, he would help us. He would help us move equipment when I was playing in my band. Okay, so I would like have my guitar and maybe an amplifier in the back, and he'd be up front with his girlfriend, and like me and my drummer would be in the back, hanging onto those handles, and he would purposely get all squirrely in the thing, you know, fishtail. I mean, those things were tiny little cars. Picture an El Camino the size of a golf cart. That's what the hell that thing was, a Subaru Brat. And I would let go of the handles because I was so worried about my freaking guitar flying out of the back. A Subaru Brat. Did anybody have a Subaru Brat? Dave Mick says he remembers them. 1911 Zoom said he had 3 of them. Willie says it's a great little truck. Prairie Fire says he remembers the Brat. Yep. Pretty crazy. Brat. Bi-drive recreational all-terrain. Bi-drive means that it had a 2-speed rear differential, so 8 forward gears, 2 reverse. Wow, Brat, hence the name Brat. Wow. Bad Zoot says she wanted one so badly. Jayla17 says, my dad had 5 small cushions for us to sit in the back of the truck. I mean, sitting in the back of a truck used to be... I wonder if you can still do that today or if cops will pull you over. I mean, it was normal when I was a teenager in the 70s, riding in the back of a pickup truck. We did that shit all day long. I don't know. Like, I've got to find these T-tops. Because it was the coolest thing ever. They really were bitching. Swivel seat. What video was that? Is it this one? Is it this one right here? Hang on. No. Crazy. I know I had it called up in a video. Only the really bitchin' cars had it. Like Firebirds and Corvettes and okay. Yeah. Here's a quick and dirty video showing us how Firebird T-tops worked. Let's see if I can pull this one up.
The giveaway for this Pontiac Trans Am Firebird WS6, it's the last great Pontiac ever made, ends this Wednesday. Click the link in the description. Buy a mug or digital download and get entered to win something that we can't make anymore. It's just the nose on this thing. I discounted these things, and even the one when we did it. I'm rambling again. Sorry, I'm leaning on your car. Entered to win. Click the link in the description. Mug, digital download, whynotUgear.com, and someone's gonna go home with this 80,000 mile Trans Am. For all of the early 2000s GM good enough workmanship when it comes to the inside, with the Trans Am WS6 or Trans Ams in general, what they did do very well is the T-tops and their simplicity. To remove them, the first thing you do is open the trunk. You might as well do this now. Then you flip the cover back. This is just a dash pad that the previous owner had. Obviously, you'll get this. To remove them, there's a door handle on the underside. Take the camera for a second. There's a door handle right here. You just open that. It's a bit stiff, but just open it that way. Then lift and pull. If GM could just do everything like this, they could do good work if they try. I mean, they did do good work. I'm sorry. I'm applying Toyota logic to General Motors. Like, you did so many things well and just other things. Anyway, the T-tops go in their own little cubbies right down here. They lock in, and then that very same handle you used right there, now they stay put. They're locked in your trunk. And we do that with the other side. I even have it done before Nick gets back here. Handle up, lift off, come back to the rear. The handle faces toward you. They line up with their little slots in there, and then close it. Now they're not going anywhere. The one downside is when you put your T-tops in here, your little partial shelf here doesn't close anymore. So there you go. There's some GM thinking right there for you. Also fun thing.
The T-tops are pretty cool. If you ever rode in a car that had T-tops, they were fun. They were absolutely a kick in the ass in the summer. It's close to having a convertible. It's the closest thing you can have to having a convertible without having a convertible. You texted me on our cars. Let me see, Joelaine. You texted me a little something. Well, is my phone worth? Nope, I don't have anything over there. Do I have anything over here? Nope, because I live on the mountain, Joelaine, I don't have any fresh texts from you. But that's a bummer. I'm sure you had some bitchin' cars. That freaking T-top was really cool. My buddy had a Corvette with the T-tops, and it was so freaking awesome. So freaking awesome. Even at night when they're on, peering up through the glass, it's like a moonroof, a sunroof. Oh, damn it! I should have put sunroofs on this list, because sunroofs, when they first came out, that was a really, really unusual option. Damn it! That would have been perfect on here. Son of a gun! How did I miss that? How did I miss sunroofs? Oh man, that's crazy. That is crazy. All right. Well, I'm looking at the time. I need to move along to the later stuff. So, believe it or not, even in this day and age, even if your car isn't the fanciest thing in the world, there are things you can buy fairly inexpensively to make your car, your older car, more groovy. For instance, in my Lincoln Continental, okay, my car has a my 1975 Lincoln Continental has a cassette player in and an FM AM FM stereo. But but they happen to make these groovy little items like this right here. I can take my Bluetooth. All right, what do I got to do? I got to grab this up here and drag it down. For a mere $15, I'm sorry, $16. For a mere $16, right there, from Amazon, you can buy this little gizmo. It is an FM converter. It goes right in your cigarette lighter. And you simply dial your car stereo to whatever station that you punch in on the FM converter, and now your phone has become Bluetoothed to your car stereo. $15. The thing has car chargers in it, battery chargers, and a cheap little novelty for your older car to make it new. I'm going to get one of those for the freaking Lincoln. You know what I do have? This is really embarrassing. This is super embarrassing. I have a. They used to make one of these, and I couldn't believe I found one in my bag of tricks, because I bought this 30 years before I bought the Lincoln. There's a thing that looks like a cassette. It looks just like a cassette. You guys remember the old cassettes from back in the day, right? The old cassette player. So, man, I should play this in my car. I'll be damned. My sister made this for me back in 1993. Getting a little dusty. So I have this cassette that has a wire on it that comes out, and so you put the cassette in the cassette player of my 1975 Lincoln Continental, and then you take the wire on the other end, and it has a plug that plugs into the back of the phone. Of course, I had to get that little funky adapter, from 1/8-inch jack to a Type C, but it works nonetheless. It actually does work. Not these things. No, those funky little things right there. Plugs into yeah, you know what I'm talking about. $15. Not a bad little gizmo. What other kind of modern cool things can you get for your car? How about bitchin' LED lighting? Okay, the kind that you only see in like freaking Lamborghinis and shit, like this right here, here. So this is a system you can buy for your car. You put it in. See all the bitchin' lighting right there? And when you play music, it reacts to the music. For crying out loud. Zoe, look at what they're looking at. There we go. There we go. There we go.
Easily accessible storage, this could be a great option. These are also pretty cheap though, so it doesn't hurt to play it safe instead of slowly going insane till you're that one guy in every group like...
I lost something once.
Keeping on track of not having stuff fall on the ground between having the gap filler and the trash bin, number 7 is a vacuum. This one might be plastic or fabric covered ones, and some even have, even if you don't drop your stuff a lot and you like more easily accessible storage, this could be a great option.
Oh, for crying out loud. Bottom line is, I saw that you can buy these bitchin'. Okay, I know I'm using antiquated terms here, but you can buy these really cool light kits for your car that you know, tape lights that you hide under the dash and all that. Doesn't cost diddly. It's like $40. And the little thing, when it hears the music in your car, it changes the lights, it makes it look freaking cool. Crazy stuff. What else was there? LED lighting. Oh, $25. Where is that? Yep, right here. For $25, if your car did not come with a backup camera, you can get one on Amazon that, let me see if I get this right. So they make them that go on your license plate. They go on the license plate wrap of your back bumper, and you can get this secondary. There's a couple of ways to do it. See, this is the one that bolts. Even if your car doesn't have a backup camera, you can add one for a mere $25. $25 to not run over a little kid. See that one built into it? It talks to your phone. It talks to your phone on your dash, and the next thing you know, you're in business. I really need to get one in my Lincoln because that thing is so freaking big. It's ridiculous. When I'm backing that thing up into a parking spot, I mean, by the time my back tires hit the curb of a sidewalk, there is 7 feet of my trunk hanging over the sidewalk, where, like in front of malls, and if I back up in front of a restaurant, I can pretty much cover the entire sidewalk with my car. So I try to be courteous. I want people to be able to walk past my car and not key it because I took up their whole walking area. I'm going to get one of those. $25. Okay. I want to take a minute right here. And just add the phone. I want to add the phone right here. Okay. Here we go. Bingo, there it is. There 'tis. Okay, so I'm going to shrink that down and put this here, and take that and put it right here. All right, so that is my telephone number. I want to know from you. Is my phone working? Yes, my phone is working. That's a good thing. What were the items that you loved about your cars growing up? Were there any particular items that you thought were just cooler than cool? You know, were there things in a car that you remember that you will never forget? Space age stuff or funky stuff. A couple of things come to mind. A friend of mine had a mid-'60s Chrysler Imperial. I want to say a 66, okay? It was a ragtop. And his stock radio, his bone stock radio, had a reverb on it, a reverb unit on it. When you cranked it up, it sounded like you were in a cave. It was the coolest freaking thing ever. Coolest thing ever saw. Willie Fix-It What are the odds of you calling tonight? How you doing, my man?
Well, you know, remember when we had the slide mounts, so we would take our radios with us so they wouldn't get stolen.
Oh, yeah.
Under the dash, we had the
Yes. Push one button, you can take the radio. Yeah.
Power booster or something with a Jensen triaxle 6x9s in the back shell.
That way nobody can steal your freaking sounds. Yep. Wasn't that sad that people would steal car stereos? Oh.
Well, it's kind of, you gotta be careful putting any kind of extra shit on new cars. What are you talking about, Chet? Shush. My dog was crying. Nowadays, man, you gotta be careful putting anything on a new car because you could fry the computer circuits and everything. It could cost you thousands of dollars. And your car
Man.
It's crazy what they have done with cars. But that backup camera for your Lincoln, yeah, that sounds cool as hell because you can add all kinds of shit to that thing. It's got a 100-amp alternator, and you know how to run a relay and a wire.
Dude, $25. It bolts to your license plate frame, and it Bluetooth talks to your phone, which is already sitting on a cradle in your dash. There's your automatic freaking camera in your 48-year-old car. Pretty cool stuff out there.
I think that's cool as hell. And yeah, you just run a good wire and make sure you run it nice and right, and you could just add it. There's taps in the fuse box on that Lincoln. You could just, the accessory taps. And
oh man, there's a million.
That ain't gonna hurt nothing. But you put an aftermarket radio in like a Volkswagen without telling the Volkswagen you're changing the radio or something. You ain't going nowhere, and you can fry a $2,000 computer or something.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The new cars, everybody's connected. They got this thing they call a CAN bus network or something. So everything's connected to everything. So if you put something else in and it ain't connected to that, it gets mad and it goes into limp mode. It's amazing I think it's just stupid. They've gone overboard with it, and that's why stupid cars cost so much now.
Yeah.
Because, with them seatbelts, like you started with the seatbelts, right? First it was lap belts.
Right.
Then they had the shoulder belts. And then they did we're going to, in 1974, your car wouldn't start unless you had
your seatbelt click.
On. And it only lasted 1 year because people got pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It was called seatbelt interlock. It was on everything made in 74.
Right.
And I think it might have been the same year for Cadillac converters, 74 or 76. I can't remember now. But,
they got rid of them.
And then the Democrats made a law and the Republicans would change it or something, Then they came out with them stupid automatic seatbelts around the 80s, around whatever it was you said, like 81, 83, something like that.
82 Honda had the first automatic seatbelt.
Yeah, I worked at the Honda place back then. But they all sucked. First they were manual and they weren't so bad, because they were just manual. But when they made the choo-choo train tracks,
right?
Yeah, they went nuts. They had one in a Mercedes. It would punch out of the back seat, and it scared the fuck out of you.
Oh,
it would
man.
hang through the seatbelt. I mean, yeah. And then Mercedes was usually pretty much first with all that stuff. They come up with airbags to get rid of that mandate.
Oh, sure.
If you have airbags, then you didn't have to have automatic seatbelts. So that's why everybody went airbags. And then everybody went airbags, but they didn't know how to seal them up good or something, and some of them turned into bombs.
Yeah.
It was lucky that they didn't all go.
I remember the first airbags were like death traps, It's like, you don't want this thing to go off,
They had the ones in Honda, when they went off, they would put the Honda logo right into your head.
Yeah. Yeah.
They forgot to perforate the back of the plastic.
Yes.
The whole thing would hit you in the head. And you would have a Honda tattoo on your head. Yeah, it was.
Reminds me.
Some strange years.
Reminds me of my.
I remember a Lincoln with power ones in the front. I thought like your year might have had them power ones in the front. They had like the little. I remember even. I'm trying to say almost into the 90s, but it wasn't a tilt one. It would just open.
Oh, okay.
The little triangle would go down, and then the big window would go down.
Oh, yeah. The little window went down, then the big window went down along with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I remember that.
I think that was a little bit later. I want to say that was 78, 79.
I had in here the last summer, 2 summers ago, did that. It had the little window. So
yes.
It was like a vent window, But it wasn't. It would. Only
It wasn't a
jump down.
wing.
It wasn't. Didn't
It
tilt.
was right. It was just a little triangle that disappeared.
My Roadrunner's got the vent windows, and then the ones in the back just pop out. Because it's a post car, so the rear windows don't roll down; they just pop out.
Exactly.
Like on one of them, like hinge dealies.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it just goes out when you put it out.
Hmm.
And that was, you know, the air conditioner. But that car, you know, that car's a drag car. That's not.
It's not a
It's not an everyday car because it was stripped down for. It was built for, you know, strictly for strip kind of shit. Well,
Right.
I mean, it had, you know, mine's got no manual brakes, no, you know, no power steering, you know, nothing, just engine. It did have a radio and wipers and heat, you know, because they.
I mean, Willie, it would be worth restoring to, you know, street legal, you know.
Well, it is. It just needs mufflers for street legal. I mean, it's that's the way it came from the factory.
Yeah.
I mean, without headers and the built engine or whatever. It's still, you know, with the hood scoop and the hood like that, that's the way it came right from the factory. No hood hinges, nothing. Fiberglass hood. It was a special package. They made, I don't know, like 600 of them or something.
Wow.
Mine's number 42.
Man, that's awesome, dude.
So that's my retirement car. But yeah, the record players didn't go good because of the bumps.
Yep.
The cool one was one that you didn't mention. They had it. You hung it on your window, and you'd fill it with like ice cubes. And when you drove down the road, you'd get the like swamp cooler effect, and it would blow AC in.
Really?
You'll see them on old trucks and old cars. It was like a big tube that hung on the window, and it had like a scoop or whatever, and you cranked the window up so it would fit in there.
And you put ice cubes in it?
Yeah, you had ice cubes to it, and you could drive it. They get called a desert cool or something.
Oh, be
It
damned.
only worked in like certain kinds of atmosphere. Like in the desert, it worked, but it didn't work like down in Florida in the muggy part.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it worked in a
That
dry
was
climate.
called, I think, Arctic Cool or something. It was like one of the, you know, the J.C. Whitney add-on stuff.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Opposed to, you know, dealer installed options.
You remember in those, like, the mid-'50s Cadillacs, they had a high-low beam automatic sensor? It was
on the dash.
it was actually out on the fender. It was about the size of a baseball. It was about 2 feet up from the windshield, and you could put your high beams on. And when you were driving down the road, if another car came along, this thing would sense the lights. 1950s technology. It would sense the car's lights, and it would automatically knock your lights from high beams down to low beam. And then the minute the car passed, boom, back up to high beams. Pretty crazy stuff.
Chrysler had the first prototype electric fuel injection back in the 20s, 30s, and they sold it to a guy named Robert Bosch over in Germany, and now everybody is Bosch.
Bosch.
What was? Who knows what they are now? They're no Nakamichi or something. Who knows what they are now? But yeah, the Chrysler engineers were. My Cadillac, Chrysler engineers were ahead of time with stuff. That turbine car was the wildest one I ever seen.
Yeah,
They made like 50 of them or something, and they gave them to people to run, and then they were just too complicated for to go into mass production, and they got rid of them all except Jay Leno, of course, got one.
Right.
The fiber optics on the my what was it, 69 or 70? It's 70 Coupe de Ville I had, two-door. It had the little things on the fenders, right, and the little thing on the back deck. You could tell if your brake lights or blinker lights were working because they ran fiber optics to every light bulb.
Really?
So you could tell that if any of your lights were out.
Oh, that's freaking good.
That was a neat kind of thing that didn't last long, but it was kind of neat.
Well, I've got one more little surprise to share with people. This is going to blow their minds.
The other one, when you were saying that car, it looked like they had electric windows. Those might have been hydraulic. Because they did hydraulic windows first.
Right. In the Packard.
Instead of that. And sometimes they had vacuum ones, too, for the door locks. They had vacuum ones in Mercedes for a bunch of years. And into the 80s, they had vacuum door locks and all kinds of shit. And then the one old Mercedes I seen, it had one grease fitting on a car that would grease every fucking thing. You never seen, it was a pre-war one.
Wow.
I see them getting restored. You never seen so many hoses in your steel lines in your life. It was every fucking part of the car. If there was a grease fitting for everything that moved. It was the wildest thing. All
crazy.
right, I'll let you go.
All right, buddy.
There's some wild stuff out there. I had like the Brat, except I had a Dodge Rampage. It was only front-wheel drive, a little two-door pickup truck, small like the Brat. And my buddy, I took him down to the airport, and he was sitting on one of them like high school chairs, the plastic ones.
In the back?
Not bolted down, all the way to the airport from my house down to LaGuardia.
Oh, shit.
But there was only a two-seater, and the other guy was in the front.
Right.
He rode in the back.
Oh, man.
But just like that, yeah, the old days. All right, have a good one.
Talk to you, buddy. Thanks. There is one car that I want to share with you, and I have to admit, I didn't know a whole lot about this until last week when I did a little digging. Hey, wait, we've got a call from the Batman. How are we doing, Batman?
I'm hanging in there, brother. I'm
Outstanding.
down in Florida again, taking care of Mom.
Wow, you're
Yeah.
getting around. Have you been
Yeah,
there since New Year's?
Yeah, I spent New Year's with her, yeah.
Oh, good. Oh,
Yeah,
excellent.
Was, down here with her, hanging out. And we went to a party in the apartment complex, and the people who run it asked me to help them out. So it was nice. It was good. It worked out all around.
Nice weather down there?
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
65 to 70 degrees. I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, that's perfect. Good for you.
Better than the 30 degrees in New York.
I got snow coming on Saturday, so yeah, enjoy it while you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. New York's supposed to get hit with some too, but we'll see. But you're talking about quirks with cars, huh?
Yeah.
I have a cute little funny story. So I had a '66 Oldsmobile. That was my grandfather's car. God bless him. God rest his soul. It was a '66 Delta 88 four-door sedan.
Big old mama.
And that thing had some balls.
Oh, yeah.
V8. And a buddy of mine had a '57 Chevy Bel Air convertible, Bel Air hardtop, and we were at a stoplight racing. We were gassing the engines, power braking, and the light changed. And as we go to pull away, my car jerked and lurched and went full on forward, but the trunk decided to stay behind. And everything in it. The whole bottom had rusted out. Everything that was in the trunk was now laying in the middle of the avenue.
I only laugh because I've seen that happen before. I think it's when a car is so rusted out, there's nothing left of it.
The whole bottom.
Yeah.
Fell right out.
I once bought a car for $50. It was a 1969 Chevy Bel Air, and the hood, all the hinges for the hood were gone. Okay, so the only thing that held the hood in place was out front, that little nose, where you pop the little handle, and then you have to push that little pecker down into the hole. Okay, so as I would drive down the road, the back end of my hood would flap up and down as the air came through the front. But I'm driving along in the rain and got my windshield wipers on, and the entire firewall was so rusted out that the unit, the motor for the wipers ripped out of the freaking firewall, and my wipers stopped working in the middle of a rainstorm. Oh, I know what you mean by a rust bucket. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a great car. It was one of my favorites.
Oh, man. Oh,
had
dude.
a big-ass engine and
Sure. Probably comfortable and hold 6 guys, and yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Those
Oh,
were,
yeah.
Oh, man.
Big bench seats front and back.
That's awesome. Well, that's
Those
groovy.
were the days.
Yeah. I got one more surprise car I'm going to share. I want to know how many people knew about this thing. I'm going to blow your mind with this next car.
Okay.
All right. Dude, great talking to you. Happy New Year to you, my brother.
Happy New Year to you, brother. God bless you.
Love you, man.
See you soon.
Love
hey,
you.
real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. check out tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, avocado time, Flip City Mag Creative Chaos Show on the Foxhole. Tomorrow night,
Okay.
6 p.m. avocado time, 9 o'clock Big Apple time. We're Cosmic Grandpa and I are helping Flip City Magazine, Christy.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's going to be pretty intense.
Oh,
Come
good.
check us out.
We'll check it out. Thanks a
All
lot.
right, brother. God bless.
Talk to you soon. All right, buddy. Wow. So I came across this. The other night. I never knew this car existed. As Willie pointed out, thanks to things like Jay Leno's Garage, Jay Leno in fact does have one of these. Wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? An ultra rare car. In the 40s and the 50s, the Chrysler Company was a defense contractor, okay? Besides building fine automobiles, they also had a division of engineers that worked in aerospace. And I laughed because earlier tonight a guy called in to the Quite Frankly program and mentioned this, and Frank didn't know about it either. Chrysler made a number of these cars that had a turbine engine in it. Basically, a jet engine. It didn't sound like a gas-guzzling car because it wasn't a gas-guzzling car. This thing ran on anything but gasoline. This is the car. This is the car right here. Come on, baby. Come with me. Come with me.
One is that.
So let me share this with you. This is a wild looking machine. I'll share a little history with you. They made like 35 of them. They made like 35 of these cars, and it had a freaking turbine engine with two, they're called regenerators, that would reuse the spent fuel a second time, and that's what would fire up your heater and everything inside the car. The cars, the bodies were made in Italy by Ghia. This is a freaking Chrysler. One of the coolest looking freaking cars you ever saw in your life. But they stuffed this turbine engine into the car, and then Chrysler did something really freaking amazing. They took 9 of these cars, 9 of them. Look at that thing. It's poetry in motion. It is such a good-looking freaking ride. Look at that space-age rear, man. They took 9 of these cars, and they gave them out to John Q. Public. They selected 9 families across America, and they specifically used, they wanted one in the high desert of Arizona. They wanted one somewhere in the snow country, Michigan. They put one in Oregon. They put one in Florida. They put one in, they wanted to see how the car reacted. And they gave the people the car free for nothing for 3 months. And they encouraged the entire family to drive it. And like so many programs like this, Chrysler had built numbers of these. And every couple of years, there was a Generation 1 turbine, and then Generation 2. I think the one that went in this car was the Generation 4 turbine. But the car didn't sound like a car. It sounded like a jet, okay? Jay Leno ended up buying one of these, and he drove the crap out of it, and then he burned up the regenerators, and that's an integral part of this car. Without it, it's a boat anchor. And through a friend of a friend's friend, they reassembled the last of these living engineers from the 40s and the early 50s, the guys who built these things, and used their knowledge along with a new modern company, and they were able to recreate the regenerators for Jay's car, and now his car is perfect again. It's a there's only 9 of them left. Chrysler had them, all the rest were destroyed. Purposely destroyed. All these guys' hard work and efforts and shoehorning a turbine engine and downsizing it so it would fit in a car, and they built like 60 or 70 of them, raced them, they did everything with them. They took 9 of them and gave them out to the public to see what the public thought. It was the coolest freaking thing ever. And I mean, just look at that car. Just look at that freaking car. Look at that thing. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. Let's see if I can get this thing. It is really futuristic looking. Really a freaking badass looking car. It's this guy right here that they're talking to. This is one of the engineers. This is one of the guys who actually worked on it. Look at that thing. It's amazing. It is amazing. It was the talk of the U.S. It was a heralded car. I didn't know anything about it. I have to admit, I thought I knew a lot about, one-off cars and this and that. Really, really a groovy thing. I'm going to drop a link to this. This is a 1-hour. It's a 1-hour documentary about that turbine car, and it is. I'm telling you, if you like unusual stuff, you'll love this. You'll love this. I'm dropping the link in the different chats around the horn. If this is something that piques your curiosity, by all means, you need to watch it. You need to watch it. It's pretty danged cool. They talked to a couple of people. There's now a guy, he's now like 50, 55, 60. His family was selected as one of the families to receive that car. And his dad let him drive it. His dad let him drive it all the time. And he said when he took it to school, he was like, previously he was like this outcast kid, and he drove this car to school and people thought he was just king shit. And it was really quite amazing. Really, really quite amazing. Folks, it's time for me to get on out of here. It is the witching hour. It is 9 o'clock. I very much appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. I'm going to do that voodoo that I do. I'm going to release the scratching. The scratching is coming your way. There it is. Scratching is coming your way. Let me get over here to Lemonland. Let's go over to Lemonland and drop some love, shall we? Let's put a little something right in there, in that treasure chest. Come on, and send it off your way. Let's send it off your way. There we go. Lemons coming your way. The treasure chest is opening in 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Hey, look, I even won a gold pill. Freaking awesome. Awesome. Claim it. Claim it. All right. Yeah, if you get a chance, watch that watch that little documentary that I dropped the link to, because it is a fascinating car. It's a fascinating story, and at the end, you get to see how they helped Jay Leno put his car back together. And of course, he takes you for a ride in his car. It sounds so cool. All right, we've got winners over in Lemonland. I see Spudley pulls it off. Sleeping Stars, there you are. Jayla 17, Lieutenant Cooker, and Lynn Winters. Congratulations, you guys. Way to go. Way to go over there. Your brother Zoe is going to get on out of here. It has been a, yeah, boy, it's been a long, cold day. I'm actually kind of freezing my butt off here in the garage. Freezing my dang butt off here. So, we're going to kill the sound of that. We're going to start right here. All right. And I'm just going to run with my harbor music, because my harbor sounds, because I can't afford to get another strike over at one of the channels, and I think you know which one I'm talking about. But I want to thank all of you for coming and hanging out with me tonight. Pretty unusual stuff. I love stuff like that. Pure Americana. Only in America, people. Only in America do we put swiveling seats and record players in vehicles. Crazy stuff. Have a good one. We will see you all on the flip side. Friday night, I will return. Friday night, I shall return. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Much love to all. Val, are you going live tonight over there? Are you playing live music tonight, Val? Lynn Winters, good to see you. Val is laying low tonight. Thanks, Dave. Mick, good to see you. Good to see you. Much love to all you people. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you around the bend.